Tape yourself up. Here we go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Amygdala, we do have our South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg. Currently teamless, the Red Zerg player from SC2. It is SHIN. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the Brood War Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. It is MindelVK. Now, speaking of proxy hatcheries, hello SHIN. What's going on? We are moving out with the hatch block. As the drone does move out across the map, back at home, there's no early spawning pool, so there's no crazy 12 pool, drone pool, anything like that. This is designed to avoid the initial scouting probe, to slip in and to get the hatchery down. Oh my god, cannon rush! Never mind. So he scouts the forge. He does scout the forge, going for his hatch block. And hopefully he clicked on the forge. I mean, back at home he should be fine. I mean, there's no expansion. What do we cannon rush? Oh, we're getting crazy, we're getting chaotic. I mean, we can cannon back at home to deal with this. True. We can throw down defensive cannons. Forge is down, there it is. Defensive cannon on the way. And Shinny does go for his pull, hatch, follow-up. He does pull a couple of boys. I believe he does see the pylon. God damn it. Base is under attack. And he does get us around on the cannon. Yeah, this cannon is not going to finish. The cannon will not finish. And SHIN will defend. And just like that, the cannon rush is denied. So there's no cannon rush, and likewise there's no expansion. I do favor SHIN in this position. In general, going for a forge opener delays the gateway, delays the cyber core, delays everything in favor of cannons, which ideally was meant to get damage done across the map, but it shouldn't. Ooh. As another cannon gets thrown down. Boys are being pulled. There's a cancellation. Again, SHIN forcing defensive cannons. And the game will continue. Oh no, he goes for a second block. Does come in for a second block. Hatchery into the main. He's looking for a better location. Looking for a nice spot. There we go. Hatchery into the main base. Now, MindelVK, he knows that there is a drone in the main. He knows that there's a drone in the house, and he's got his Zealot to deal with it. The Zealot should be making his way into the main base as well. Mindel. Bappy, what's going on? We need that Zealot. We need to deal with this. Lings are amassing, queens are on the way, and again, he knows that there's a drone in here. He should be aware. Uh-oh. Roach Warren gets thrown down. SHIN, he can now make roaches. I mean, there we go. Zealot does now check. Dragoon's on the way. And how does this line up? Now, I believe by the time this hatchery finishes, the Roach Warren will be complete. So, SHIN, he can make roaches in the main base. He can make roaches within the main base of MindelVK. So that is a big concern, bearing in mind that the cyber core is late and the Dragoon upgrade is late as well. The hatchery will complete. Lings are moving out. And show us those roaches. Oh, does cancel. Okay, does cancel. Doesn't commit to it. Roach Warren did complete, but actually 0 roach production. So SHIN, he had the option. He had the option to go for it if he wanted to, but he does see the Dragoon. He thinks better of it. He backs off. So despite making the Roach Warren, 0 roaches. 0 roaches for SHIN. Instead, he expands. He drones. We're settling into a longer game state. Meanwhile, Stargate follow-up out of MindelVK. Curious here, this could be for a Corsair just to hunt down these overlords, or this could be your first scout also to hunt down the overlords and to also get some economic damage done as well. So we'll see which one he goes for, Corsair or scout. Meanwhile, very fast overlord speed on the way. Interesting. Overlord speed here from SHIN. If this was a regular SE2 game, I would assume that this was for a fast layer alongside it into like drop lord play, into an all-in. But here this might just be for scouting, as scouting is quite limited here for SHIN. It is an expensive scout, but a scout nonetheless. Shin is droning, Shin is saturating. We have a second star. Oh, that I was not expecting. A second Stargate. Going for the Citadel as well. Citadel into what? A Templar Archives. I mean, I know Corsair DT was a thing in Brood War. Do we go for like Scout Dark Templar? Do we? Maybe. Erlo's being hunted down. Shin, he will go in for the scouts. He will confirm. He will see both Stargates and he will see the Citadel as well. He sees everything in the main. The Citadel, it could just be for Zealot Legs. It could be for the Templar Archives. There we go, Zealot Legs on the way. Getting into the speed lots. Is speed lots the correct verbiage? Like I'm not comfortable calling them charge lots because it's not charge, right? Like they're not it's not quite the same upgrade. They're just speedy boys. Meanwhile, Lings, they force a cancel. They get on top of the Zealots. Zealots go down, Dragoon as well. Very nice surround here from Shin. He shuts down the army. And he also confirms additional scouts. Does confirm additional scouts, and we're still massing up mass. Jesus, he's just committing. Committing into mass scouts. Likewise, back at home, Shin going into Ling Hydra. Again, he did have the Roach Horn, but he's not making any roaches. Plus on melee is on the way, so Ling Hydra is going to be the composition of choice here for Shin. Meanwhile, it's going to be Zealot Legs into Temple Archives, into Storm Archons. They're going to be available once again. Another surround, once again, another cancellation. He's at least hoping to, never mind. Does catch a Dragoon. Nice pickup. Takes down the Dragoon, pulls away. Overseer Scout does confirm the extra gateways. And the Temple Archives as well. Does take note. Back at home, Queens are in position, Spores are in position. Storm is on the way for Mindel. And again, the tech here is solid for MindelVK, but the problem here is the economy. Like, the base has been delayed and denied for so long. He needs a third. Without it, Mindel, he is falling behind. Doesn't need that third base. Love seeing scouts. For me, like, it's the nostalgia is real when it comes to the anti-air attack. For like in general, like a lot of the brutal units, a lot of their sound effects, like it sparks joy. I played so much Brood War as a kid. Never competitively. I didn't have the internet for it. But did play it a lot. As a child. Feels early 2000s, man. Shit does start to step in. Catches out two of those scouts. Not bad. Let's catch him out. Likewise, MindelVK just massing up High Templar back at home, building up their storms. Storm is done. And again, like the composition here is solid for MindelVK, but because of the late expansion, because of the really shaky start as well, the economy isn't where it needs to be. Without the economy, the size of the army here is lacking, and Shin is getting ready to overwhelm. Shin, he's just taking up to 83 drones already, getting up to 4 bases, soon to be a 5th expansion for Larva, taking up into Hive Tech, into Hydra Lurker Viper. And Shin is getting into the ideal. And Mindel is one step behind. One step behind here. Now with some solid storms, Mindel, he can survive this. He can take this fight. First storm does zone. Zoning storms. Oh. Likewise, Shin collapsing, and he has a greater concave. Collapsing the army. Oh, 2 storms. Once again, they get spent. They zone. MindelVK being a little bit wasteful here, baited into storms. The fungal comes in, massive connection. Yeah, massive fungal, chain fungal as well. Nice storm on some of the Hydras. Oh my god. Storms, they pop up, they shut down the Hydras. And with that, MindelVK, he barely does defend. Again, the power of the storms. Mindel holds. He does hold, chasing down the infestors. Takes down both of them. Oof. But alas, Shin still has the better economy. He's remaxing, rebuilding, getting ready for the next wave. And this next wave, this time, is going to feature Lunkers. The Lunkers are on the way. So here come those Lurker upgrades. Shin, he's getting ready here for that next step. Meanwhile, more High Templar building up. Unfortunately, there's still no Sky Toss. So yes, we have some Stargates, that is true, but there it is. Fleet Beacon is now on the way. I will say this is a late Fleet Beacon for MindelVK, but part of that is also because of the late 4th, because of the late 3rd. I mean, it's, again, everything has been delayed here. Everything is late. But he's almost there. He needs a little bit more time to stabilize it into Sky Toss. Until then, there's an opening. Until then, MindelVK is vulnerable. We'll see if he can hold on to the 4th, as the first 5 Lurkers are morphing in. Lunkers are morphing in. Shin, he does start step forward. Oh, jeez, how many High Templar? 8! Oh my god. 8 High Templar for Mindel. First Storm pops off. God, I love that effect. It just hits different. Ooh, the High Templar, they get checked up. Yeah, that's what, 2, 3 High Templar going down. Brutal pickoffs. Oh, sorry, that was 4 High Templar falling. And the base is going to crumble. Yeah, there's no saving this. Pushing into the Lurkers. Storms, they do catch out the Lurkers. Not bad. Hydras being forced back. And MindelVK, he barely doesn't have enough. Barely not. And Shin, he's done it. He's broken the army. He's broken the expansion. 4th base goes down. Now the storm zones where reinforcements, they have arrived. And Shin can just keep pushing. He can just keep going and overwhelm. Now he rotates over. Does rotate. So you're just trying to catch him into MindelVK out of position. Because they burrow in. Oh. Yeah, and you can see the army just dragged within Lurker range. The storms have been good, but there's just not enough. There's just not enough storms here. Hydras, they break through that initial defensive line. Delts go down. And Shin, he has done it. He has done it. He has broken his opponents. Remember, it all started with a cannon rush. It began with a cannon rush, and it ends here 12 minutes later with mass Hydra Lurker. As it was a very awkward start to the game for both players. Just making their way through. They take down the Archons. And the natural has been broken. From here, there's barely anything left. GG gets called, and Shin, he will take a lead in the series. He will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Shin, he will take a lead. Again, it was a very shaky back and forth early game, but just to re-emphasize once again, MindelVK, he was playing from behind. He was playing from behind. It was just a really awkward start. Late tech, late expansion, delayed 3rd base, as we saw Shin able to force a cancel and delay him even further. So because that Mindel, he was playing catch-up for the most of that game. He was playing catch-up, and he had some good moments. He had some good fights, but the economy is what was hurting him. Whether it was the late 3rd base, more importantly, the non-existent 4th base, right? He never got a 4th base up and running, so he could never really keep up supply-wise with Shin. GG. GG, well played. With that, Shin will take a lead in the series. Now we're jumping to game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. The StarCraft version is so radical. True. It's tubular. Oh no. So getting into our next game and spawning in the top right hand corner of first line, we have our red Zerg player, our Brood War Zerg, leading the series 1-0. It is Shin. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player, the SC2 Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MindelVK. Just catching with the chats. Since when can you play Brood War versions? When was the mod made? That's a good question. I believe it was last year, but I will say that the mod was like popularized, I want to say like halfway through 2024, like around like June-ish, like June, July, maybe a little bit earlier. like April, June, July-ish of last year. Sorry, May, June, July-ish of last year. Is when the mod did kind of like come out and was being supported and kind of hits the Korean scene, and since then has kind of branched out in the international scene as well. So it hasn't been that long. Like the mod hasn't been out for too long. I want to say like just under a year. I want to say just under a year at this point. But we have been hosting and casting events on this channel of StarCraft Evolution, intermixed with SE2 tournaments, of course, for almost a year at this point. So if you want to tune into some more content, it's all on YouTube. So check out our YouTube channel. It's all, I believe, like playlisted there with previous events. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It is, of course, if you want to help support, I should say, the evolution of StarCraft Evolution and support the developers and those working on assets and balancing and maps as well, exclamation mark SC Evo in the chat, I believe. Yep, there it is. There is a Patreon, Team Caprulu, they're the team that is working on it, again, creating modern assets. You can see here, like for the gas geyser, this is not an SE2 gas geyser. It is a new kind of like a new asset here that was added. It is a Brood War gas geyser, the hatchery, the spawning pool as well, also a Brood War spawning pool. It's all custom assets. So shout out to the art team, of course, shout out to the balance team as well. Like they have their own team that do work on the Brood War side of things. They actively patch and work on the game. And there's a Patreon if you do wish, if you do wish to support them. So now we are settling in. It is going to be a Twilight Council opener out of MindelVK. Let's go. So Twilight Council opener. But right, if I didn't make it clear, this is a mod, right? This is a custom mod, not like the official game. So Twilight Council opener, taking the vision here of SHIN. SHIN, he has not yet confirmed. Does go for a safe start though. Going to be morphing in that creep colony into a sunken colony, setting up defensively, fully walling off. And rushing into a fast lair. Oh my god, very fast lair here by SHIN. Now with this fast lair, this does scream Muta. This does scream 2-base Muta. Meanwhile, Glaive Adepts are on the way from MindelVK. I'm curious how this all does unfold. Now on the one hand, SHIN, he's fully walled in on 2 bases, so there's no way for the Adepts to get in. But Mutas aren't the best unit to deal with these Adepts. Without laying Hydra, I am concerned for SHIN, as SHIN has yet to scout. Oh, as the Adept moves out, Lings, they move in. Yeah, Lings, they do slip past. They get into the main. Even, for example, these Zerglings, they're custom models. Like, these are not SE2 Zerglings, as you can see. They're very different, visually, I mean. They do slip into the main base, and they do get vision. They confirm Twilight Council. He knows. He's now fully aware. A Spire has been thrown down. As you mentioned, the fast lair did scream 2-base Muta, and now he knows that he's up against Glaive Adepts. But what is his answer? Again, defensive Muta is not going to be ideal. Ninja base. Let's go. Going for a ninja expansion. Oh, did let that gas geyser finish, unfortunately. Link speed is on the way. That will help at least somewhat. Remember, SHIN, he skipped link speed to afford the faster lair. And Adepts are moving out. Adepts are moving out across the map. And I don't think that one colony is going to be enough, I'll be honest. There we go, we have more colonies on the way. There's going to be 3 in total, but these colonies are late. But it might be enough. There's not that many Adepts. It's going to be 6. 6 Adepts into Blink. There's no Robo alongside this. My apologies. So when it comes to Glaive Adepts, this is only... It is 4 gate Glaives, but no Robo. No Robo, no War Prism. First colony is going to go down. But the other 2 are finishing. Oh, they're barely finishing up. Adepts are trying to break their way in. And they barely... Oh, they barely will kind of be... Oh, never mind. The rewall. Rewall's just in time. Adepts, they do not get into the natural. Adepts, what do they see? They don't see much at all here. But the full wall does scream Muta play. It has to be Mutas. Blink is going to be the answer. Going for a massive gateway explosion. Still on 2 bases. Going Mass Blink Stalker. And here come the Mutas. We released 1.0 in May of last year. There you go, May of last year. There you go. Thank you for letting us know. Shout out to Cat. Shout out to Cat. Thank you so much. So almost a year of StarCraft Evolution. Meanwhile, Adepts, they do find the ninja base. Mutas, they do bust into the main. They head towards the natural. Probe's going to be going down. The Stalker count's still not quite high enough, but the Warpin does complete. And Shin, he has to pull out. He has to get out of here. So far, getting 20 probe kills. Insane damage. Did I say 22? 22 workers go down. Mutas, they can now deal with the Adepts. And Shin, he will re-expand behind this going Mass, Ling, Muta, and also switching into Hydras. Hydra has been thrown down. Muta to catch out a couple of those Adepts. We started our beta around 2 years ago, and 1.0 released May last year. Oh, thank you. Gracias, Angel. Gracias. As soon as they keep poking in between the bases, likewise Stalkers, they get across. But we're going for the base trade. Yeah, we are committing here to the base trade, and can we defend back at home again? Link production still underway. No Hydras yet. Hatchery goes down. Meanwhile, Shia Battery does defend back at home. But MindelVK, he has almost barely any workers, down to 18 probes, barely an economy. 18 workers left. MindelVK, he has to bust in. Upper the Lings, they get a full surround. Oh my god, massive catch. Stalkers get surrounded. Adepts, they bust into the main. They get a couple of drone kills, but Shin, he was ready for this. He pulls away. He pulls away the workers. He does preserve whatever he can. And Shin holds. He shuts down the all-in. There's nothing left. A GG gets called, and Shin will take the series at 2-0. He will survive the aggression and advance on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. Oh my god. GG, well played. Shin, he does claim the series, and we have our top 2 players here. Again, MindelVK had a very chaotic match is what I will say. Remember, game 1 began with a cannon rush. Game 2 began with 4 gate glaives without a robo. It was just some chaotic games back and forths. Shin, he did get away with the 2-base Muta. I was a little bit concerned he wouldn't. I was concerned that the wall was going to be broken and Adepts would bust in, but alas, Shin, he does get away with it. Does get away with the Mutas. GG. GG, well played. And now we do have our top 2. We have our finalists. Switching our scenes over here, we can catch up on the bracket itself and figure out where we are. From the top, Wayne took down Classic 2-0. Shin took down MindelVK 2-0. And now we have our top 2 finalists here. It's going to be Wayne versus Shin in a ZvZ. Now, this is not a standard ZvZ. I did speak on this earlier when we covered Classic versus Rebellion, but mirror matchups are really mirror matchups only in name. I do feel like calling them that is a little bit of a disservice. Broodwar Zerg versus SE2 Zerg is only similar in name. Like, it is very, very different when it comes to this dynamic. I love casting mirror matchups in StarCraft Evolution because it's just an entirely different matchup, entirely different dynamic between Broodwar and SE2. And yeah, Wayne doing very well for himself here tonight, taking down some big names already. But how does he compare to Shin? Coming into this, Shin is going to be the heavy favorite, but if you remember, Classic was also the favorite player against Wayne as well, and that did not stop Wayne. That did not stop him from bringing him down and from cheesing him out, more importantly. We had some crazy games earlier. It's insane.